Hi, this is Ike from Ike's Lovin' Sandwiches, and you're listening to Jim on Bass.
Welcome back to another episode of the Jim on Bass Show. We're back at Super Bowl Media Row in New Orleans with the great Ike, and it's great to see a Bay Area guy, right? So, a nice surprise.
Bay Area, been doing Radio Row for 5 years now. It's been fun.
You know how it goes.
Yeah. So basically, working with Arash Markazi, we did the Super Bowl about 5 years ago, and then it started out as let me feed a few folks, and then we did a collaboration with Austin Eckler. Then he started passing out the sandwiches. Then Arash started passing out the sandwiches, and basically, we became the most popular table at Radio Row. Like if I put these sandwiches out on this table, which we've got about 150 pieces, everybody's gonna be at our table. So we use it as a funnel to help our friends get interviews. Like maybe, hey, you come sit up next to us and we'll have the sandwiches. Be like, no, hold on, talk to Jim first. And that's basically what we did. Hey, hold on, got to talk to Arash, or you got to talk to Austin, or you got to, whoever's doing their thing.
Well, I got to say, that's my favorite sandwich place in the world. My favorite, I think it was off the menu on now, Adam Richman. I love that one. It's dangerous.
Dude, I love that one. And Adam is a great guy. Love hanging out with him, New York or Vegas or the Bay Area with him, yeah.
Well, I always love standing in line and seeing the menu, and I feel lucky because I've had Logan Webb on, I've had Matt Cain on, and just seeing people from the sandwiches that I've had on the show. So is there any dream athletes that you love to collaborate with still?
Oh, that's a damn fine question. I should probably have an answer to that. I would love to do something with, because I've already met, I met Barry Bonds, I met Steph, Jerry Rice, Joe Montana. So who's left that I haven't? It'll come to me.
Well, I know you were pitching hard for Ohtani. You were gonna have a sandwich ready and give him lifetime sandwiches, right? Get him on the Giants.
I was gonna get. So look, any free agent out there, if you want free sandwiches for the rest of your life, just come sign with the Giants, please. For the love of somebody, sign with the Giants. And I know they had a better offseason this year than normally, but yeah, I'd love that. And I just thought I'd love probably Tiger Woods.
That's a good one.
Michael Phelps.
Well, you offered that with Kevin Durant. So does he still get the free sandwiches?
Kevin Durant. So the thing is, he did come. So he gets free sandwiches for life. He still has a free sandwiches for life card. There's a few other folks that have free sandwiches for life. Marshawn has it.
Okay.
And a few other guys. Yeah, I have it, obviously.
Yeah. Well, how does it work when it came to the sandwiches? I figured you were the guy behind it, but you actually come up with the ingredients and putting them together, right? Did you go to culinary school, or how did this all kind of begin for you?
Well, like most people, I eat. And unfortunately, I have to eat a couple times a day, And then when I was in college, it was my first time in my life. I was like, I got to cook for myself or go out to eat.
Okay.
And even back then, 30 years ago, when I was in college, it was still too expensive to eat out every meal. So I had to learn how to cook and trial and error, making food that didn't taste good, making food that tasted good, and then I realized that if I make something that tastes good and I don't write it down, then I don't remember how to make it again. So I started going, let me write it down. Even if it's a dash, it'd be a dash of paprika or whatever. So this way I could replicate the good meals. Otherwise, it's always a crapshoot. So I started doing that, and I basically keep recipes now of everything. I'll keep the recipe, and if it's not good, I Mark, don't ever do this again. Depends how terrible it is. Or I look at a recipe, it's it was all right, and then I'll write underneath, add garlic, or whatever it would be. And so I'm adjusting recipes. If it's not this is perfect. Same with the sauces now. I come up with sauces all the time. I just did one with Ed McCaffrey and his mustards, and I was messing around. I made 7 different versions before I was like, this is dirty. Yeah.
Well, one thing I got to thank you for, too, I don't know if I'm giving away the secrets, but when I was on the ambulance, you always gave a great first responder discount, so you're always looking out for us.
Yeah, we still do that. Firefighters, police, and first responders. And being out here in New Orleans, it's been really, I guess that maybe a lot of that doesn't happen out here, and I don't want to put any shade on anybody, because we've been telling firefighters, and oh my gosh, you give us maybe they're used to police getting a discount, but firefighters and other first responders are like, oh, really? Okay. Gotcha. Yeah.
Well, I know you have some new products down the line, right? I think with tea type of stuff, right? Or drinkable?
Yes. So right now I opened the first Ike's Apothecary. It's in New Orleans, which is where we're at. It's basically cocktails, but non-cannabis and non-alcohol, although I'm not saying that those are things that are bad. We just don't do it with that, although we do have alcohol. And then we have restorative coffees too. So we got things for immunity. We've got things for if you're depressed. We got things for anti-anxiety. We got libido beverages. Come see me if you need that, for a weekend in New Orleans.
Yeah.
And so it's been going so well. I'm going to open up a second Ike's Apothecary on the beach in Kona. And then the plan would be to do one on the beach in Venice or Santa Monica. And then I know there's not really a beach in San Francisco, but then I'll bring it to the Bay. So that's my plan for the new Ike's Apothecary. Yeah, it's called Ike's Apothecary. We've got love potions and alchemy elixirs. Come see me.
Can people get it now, or can you buy it yet? Or
only in New Orleans. So right now it's the only one location. Then we're going to do Kona. Then we'll do LA. Then I'll find a spot in the Bay to do it. And then hopefully it's a hit. So you come in there, you get your apothecary drinks. We also sell sandwiches, if you've heard of them, from Ike's. Yeah.
With love?
Yes.
And last question here, I ask everyone I have on, what kind of music are you into? Your first concert?
So I love the 90s and early 2000s. One of the people sometimes are like, oh, have you ever been starstruck or fanboying? And so it's been a couple times in my life. As one, when I had dinner with Barry Bonds for the first time, I was like, holy, that's Barry Bonds. And it's a fun story. So remind me to tell you the Barry Bonds first meeting story. I love it, but it's too long to tell now. And then, but Stephen Jenkins from Third Eye Blind. And he was living in San Francisco. He invented Uber Eats and DoorDash, because he would be like, he'd call, be like, hey, I'll need this sandwich and this sandwich. He'd get the Stephen Jenkins sandwich, obviously the Pastrami Charm Life sandwich, and a few others. And he'd pay a cab driver he'd give a cab driver $20, and then $20 for the food. And the cab driver would drive to Ike's. So we'd give the cab driver the sandwiches, and he'd pay like, I don't know, $60 for like 3 sandwiches or something like that to get it. So but like I said, he invented DoorDash and Uber Eats and all that stuff.
Okay.
So him. But my first concert was back in the Bay when they used to do those like bomb concerts. So the first concert was a collaboration of so many artists. But the highlight for me was Keith Sweat was there.
Oh, okay, nice.
He was like the closing act back when Twisted was like the number one song back when that was a current song. Yeah. So that's giving. I was still in high school back then. So that was my first concert. It was a bomb concert. Many artists, but Keith Sweat was like the headliner. Yeah.
What venue in the Bay Area? Do you remember?
Yeah, it was at Oakland Coliseum. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I got to say, it was a pleasant surprise to see you here and then to have you on. I've been eating your sandwiches for years, and I'll continue to do it.
I appreciate you, Jim. Yeah, thank you so much.